Hi friends, it's Anne here, and today's video I'm going over my review of the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup Lotion. Basically, I think that's what they call it. It's foundation. This is like a classic. Like this, even the shape of the bottle is a classic. I'm pretty sure I remember my granny having this, like, and she passed away in 1999, and I'm pretty sure she had a bottle of something like this. Obviously not this one, because that would be real old. Anyway, I wanted to do a review of this product just because it is a classic. It's been around for a really long time. I do have two shades here. So what we'll do is I'll go over sort of the overview of the product itself. I have a couple of like demo slash, I guess not really demo because I'm not putting it on camera, but like daily wear tests. And then I'll come at the end with like my opinions of the product. So I do have two shades here. I don't know if you will notice a difference looking at the bottles because I didn't right away, other than they are like, one has some yellow font, one has some blue font, and they're different shades. This one is shade C2. This one is shade W2. If you'll notice, W2 says SPF there in the front. So they're actually different. So a couple of things I've noticed. So I tend to use Shoppers Drug Mart as my Canadian drugstore, comparing it to Ulta, because I can at least access Ulta's website and see what pricing and products there are. I noticed on Ulta, the product cost is $10.99, or you can get 2 for $20. They have 37 shades on the website, but there is a total of 45 shades. So I'm not sure exactly what shades were missing on their website, because even the description says 45. So in both Canada and the US, there is in total 45 shades. On Ulta, they advertise the SPF version. On the Shoppers Drug Mart website, they don't advertise the SPF version. So on Shoppers Drug Mart, this is where it gets interesting. So it retails for $19.99 on the website. So that's like double the price. So FYI, Canadians are getting screwed on this product, and I have no idea why. I don't know why it's so expensive for us. In my local Shoppers Drug Mart, so I'm downtown Toronto. Fun fact, everything's more expensive down here. The retail price on the sticker says $23.99. At least it did when I bought it. Fun fact again. It's not in my local Shoppers Drug Mart anymore. I'm going to kind of tangent all over the place because it's like I was like checking a million things. I bought this one, the W2 with the SPF, at Rexall, I believe. Knowing full well, like, W2 is not my shade. I knew that. I bought it on sale. I bought it to potentially use on somebody else. I bought it in September of 2019. It does have an expiration date of November 2019. To me, it's still usable, even though the expiration date is there. I feel, as far as I understand, the expiration date is most specifically to the SPF. Like, you can't rely on this being actual SPF 17 anymore. Not like you would rely on this as your only SPF, at least I wouldn't. But you should know that obviously they can't guarantee that the SPF is active at that level anymore. And again, they can't guarantee that the quality of product will be as good as it was, prior to November 2019. I bought this one without the SPF at Shoppers Drug Mart, at my local Shoppers Drug Mart. This product doesn't seem to be available at my local Shoppers Drug Mart. I went specifically, so I shop there just to get like groceries and stuff, but I did specifically go to the makeup section just to double check, because when I was on the website, this product isn't technically there. It's there. There's one shade on Shoppers Drug Mart website with a product that's known, like, it's called True Match. It is known for its shade matching ability, and the fact that there was only one shade on the website, I'm like, that's interesting. So I was like, let me just check in my local store to see what they have. And this wasn't even in the shelving unit. Like, there was no bottles that looked like this. And it's like, that's interesting. So I went to the L'Oreal Paris website, and it looks like in Canada they're discontinuing this. From the L'Oreal Paris US site, it doesn't look like it, so I think this product will still be available in the US, but this particular True Match is being replaced. I'll put a little picture up on the screen with another True Match product, it looks like, that's more, it says it has hyaluronic acid, and it does say it has moisturizing components to it. When I looked at the ingredient list, the only thing that I noticed that was different, and I couldn't even tell that with the new hyaluronic version because it didn't seem to really clarify. I mean, I kind of need to maybe just do a double check, but it looks like, and again, I have different ingredients. It looks like the non-SPF version has dimethicone as the second, or like it's an early ingredient. For example, if I look at Ulta's website, dimethicone doesn't show up. I don't even know if it shows up at all. Oh, no, it does, but it's like lower down. So like I kind of look at the first sort of 10 ingredients. And yeah, so the non-SPF has dimethicone. Then the one that has SPF has an active ingredient of titanium dioxide. So when I'm looking at the L'Oreal Paris Canada website, I'm like, I don't know where the hyaluronic acid is in the ingredient list, unless they haven't updated it. Again, I went over to the Shoppers Drug Mart website. They do have the new version listed. They only have like 6 shades, but they don't have the ingredients there. I was like, guys, why are the ingredients not there? So that was interesting. Again, even the packaging on this is different in terms of the back. Like this has like the peely thing to see the ingredients, and then the ingredients on this one are printed on the back, which I had to take a photo of so I could read it properly. So yeah, the only thing that I could see different is dimethicone is higher on the list on this one than on the non-SPF to the SPF, and the SPF has titanium dioxide. I'm assuming that's the SPF. I don't know a whole lot about skincare or SPF or anything like that, so if you know more about that stuff, great. Maybe find somebody else that can explain it a little bit more. I know dimethicone helps it's like a silicone, so it helps things feel a bit smoother or creamier, but to be honest, from a texture perspective, I don't think it made a huge difference, like testing between these two. So yeah, it was a whole rabbit hole. I feel like I had another review video where the same thing happened, where it was like the product I tested was basically being discontinued, and it was like, well, why am I doing this video? But I want to do the video anyway because it does seem like it's available in the US still. Looks like in Canada they're phasing this product out, which I'm super surprised because this is like it's been around for a really, really, really long time. I can't say for the rest of the world. That was the other thing that kind of makes me think about things like companies like L'Oreal Paris, how large that they are, that they can offer different versions of the same type of product in different countries. Like, that's a lot of work. And interesting. And I do know, like, for example, the SPF. I'm surprised I got one with the SPF in it because in Canada, regularly we will get the same foundation as the US without SPF because we have different regulations around SPF. I don't know if they're necessarily more stringent. I just know that they're different, which is kind of annoying because I personally do like having SPF in my foundation. Not that I rely on that as my SPF, but I like having that extra layer, right? I feel like it's nice to have, and it's kind of annoying that we don't always get the version with the SPF in it. Anyway, that's going to be a pretty long intro about the product. Normally it's like, this many shades, this price in Canada versus this price in the US. Now, this has there's a whole another story behind this. But I will say, between the two versions, I didn't notice a big difference in terms of, like, the texture. This one might have been a bit more liquidy, like a bit more runny, than this one, but from an application perspective, it really didn't make a huge difference. They're both, no, you can't, I don't know if you can hear that. No, you can't hear it. They're very watery. Like, it's a very liquidy formula. I would say it's very similar to the ordinary serum foundation with maybe a little bit more density, but it's that sort of liquidy, watery type foundation. I think CoverGirl, if you look at like the original CoverGirl, I forget what the name of that is. It's a very similar, like, watery type formula. I'll be interested. I haven't yet tried the new one that's in Canada, the new True Match. I'm curious to know if it's still going to be that very liquidy type formula. I do like that the new version has a pump on it, so that's cool because this is a bit inconvenient. Okay, now we're going to do some daily wear tests. This is where things get interesting. I'm just going to preface the one day it goes real bad. It's not good, but I wanted to show it because, this is reality. Things do get better. I will also show, I don't know if I did video for this, so if I didn't do video and I just did photos, I'll do the photos later. I did do kind of a show and tell with another foundation just to kind of show how another foundation sort of sits on my skin regularly. I think I did a bit of video for that, so it'll kind of go. Anyway, if you're interested in that, that's what's up next. If you're interested in my final thoughts, I'll put a timestamp here so you can just jump ahead to that. Okay, so it is May 31st. I'm testing out the L'Oreal True Match Foundation in the shade C2. Did all my normal skincare. I did the Smashbox Primer Water, the Essence Essence, the Touch and Soul Prime Essence, and then I did the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and then I've put on the foundation. I've already done my eye makeup, obviously, and I thought I was having a pretty good skin day. So my skin has been very dry and flaky lately. Some of that's been due to spending some time outside and getting a little bit of sun and the wind and things like that. And like our weather here's been crazy. We had like 30-degree weather, and then we had like -3-degree weather all within a week. So my skin has been reacting quite a bit. So it's been pretty patchy and dry and irritated. This foundation is just not looking great. So I've got a lot of irritation. So this is my typical like eczema-y irritation. If you've ever seen any of my past videos where I've talked about that, there's something there. It showed up after I was in India in 2015, 16. Let me just lighten it up there. Hopefully that's easier to see. And then it's just been kind of an issue ever since. But you can see hopefully you can see the dryness on my nose. I can't and it clings to all that, and then I have like patches where it's clinging. I mean, some of this is just really my skin. Like, it has nothing to do with the foundation. It's my skin, but the foundation is emphasizing it. Like, I didn't notice it. I knew it was bad a few days ago when I was testing, but today I was like, oh, my skin feels a lot better this morning when I was putting my skincare on. Nope. I have been using my Briogeo, that is not the right word. I can't think of the brand name off the top of my head. Boscia, there we go. Exfoliation stuff, a little bit more lately, mostly because I wanted to finish it up, but also because of the skin issues. And yeah, so the other issue too is this foundation is just not the right shade. Not the right shade. It is maybe a little pink, but it's also like a little light. I know like with my neck it looks okay, but like, hope you can see how ghost-like I look. Even if I just turn the lighting down a little here. I'm still looking pretty ghosty. Anyway, I don't know what to do. I think I'm still going to post this video, create this video. But I know that this type of foundation is just going to look better when my skin is doing better. It's a very thin foundation, and I've had this with other thin foundations. So, for example, the Ordinary foundation, very similar. This isn't quite as thin as that, but it's a very watery type foundation. Yeah, I'm just kind of sad because I thought I would like this more than the other L'Oreal foundation. I think I actually even though the other one kind of comes across more matte, I think I like it a little bit better than this one. Which I thought I would definitely, people go on about this True Match. It's been around for a long time. I mean, it's definitely I can see why, but in this certain elements and circumstance, it's not working for me. Okay, it's about lunchtime, approximately 4 or 5 hours since I last posted a video. So I've done obviously the rest of my makeup, and my skin is looking not good. Let me brighten it up here. Hopefully you can see. I mean, my skin is dry and flaky in general. It's getting drier and flakier. I don't know if you can see on my forehead there. It looks so bad, and the foundation looks so bad. Look at my nose. Ugh. So, I mean, again, it's not necessarily the foundation. It's my skin. My skin is not happy today. And the foundation is not helping. Okay, here we are again. I am trying this foundation again on a different day. I've been trying it on and off the past few days, but I've been also trying to take much better care of my skin. That last update was my skin was really bad and flaky, so I've like made sure I've been moisturizing. I've done some exfoliation, did a mask, all that good stuff. So my skin is a bit better. I've kind of only gone in with a light layer of coverage, and this is what we're looking at. And as you can see, it's much better in terms of like obviously not clinging. Oh, well, we probably have some spots there clinging too, but not too bad. But you can see like my patches of redness. So that's something that's been happening this morning on and off. All of a sudden I'm getting these like flushes. Don't want to call them hot flashes. It doesn't feel like a hot flash. But my face is just like feeling a bit irritated, probably because I was exfoliating and stuff. But the foundation does look a lot better when my skin looks better. Funny how that works. So I just wanted to show on a different day. The foundation is not that bad. I still think I have the wrong shade though. It might be a hair too light. I need to look at the shade numbers and see what there is. Anyway, just wanted to show a different day. So, about end of work day here, just wanted to film this to kind of show what my face looks like, what the foundation looks like. So when I filmed this morning, I filmed right after I put the foundation on. So that was literally like 5 minutes after I put the foundation on. I find after maybe about 20 minutes or so, the foundation looks a lot better because it's sort of working with my skin, I feel like, and just sort of melding in a little bit better. But I found today I'm definitely having one of those days where my skin's deciding to be oily. It's kind of weird weather today. It was raining this morning. It's a little humid feeling, and my skin is definitely feeling it. I look like I've got like highlighter, and that's just oil on my face. I noticed pretty much by like around 11:30 my face was kind of oily. This is my face with the foundation on. Again, I had a little bit of powder on. Harley. I put a little powder on after I did the foundation. Shh, I know, I'm not paying attention to you. Relax. But I haven't done anything since. So this is what it looks like. So the foundation's kind of worn off a little bit, or kind of melded in. Definitely looks better. My skin's looking a little better. It's not as dry as it was this morning. So yeah, I just wanted to share. It wears pretty okay when your skin's not the Sahara Desert. Excuse me. So my final thoughts on this. This is sort of like a mid-range, kind of probably okay for most people type foundation. I can see why it's so popular. Number one, for the matching. So I feel like this is a really good product to buy. Just say you have other foundations but they don't quite match you. I think this is a great product to buy to mix in. It's a nice thin formula, so it shouldn't really alter the other foundation you have too much, but it will obviously help with the color. I think the fact that they have 45 shades is like amazing. That's a ton of shades. And again, I have 2 shades and I didn't feel like it varied in formula at all. So like that's also another thing. So sometimes you might have different shades, but the formula is very different. I will mention, I kind of said this a number of times, that unfortunately the shade is not quite right for me. It's like a little too light. There is a shade in the original called C2.5, which I think is actually what's right for me. I think C3 might be too deep, but I think the 2.5 would be probably spot on, which don't even know if I can get that here anymore. So, but having said that, this type of formula, I'm really learning my skin in this type of formula, and this type of formula is not my favorite. A thin formula tends to, I am normal to dry, with some days being oily, some days being super like Sahara Desert. And when my skin is dry and textured and flaking, anything that's like this exacerbates that. Did I say that word right? I don't know. But it definitely makes it worse. Like, it does not help the situation. And as the day goes on, it just like gets worse and worse and worse. So for me, a thinner formula, again, that's why I compare it to The Ordinary, because I feel like the same type of thing happens where it sort of, even like if my skin is just, it must be my skin's pretty dehydrated, so my pores really show, so then the foundation really sits in the like golf ball divots, or orange peel divots, which I really don't like. And again, if the color is off, like for example, this is still a little too light, it emphasizes that a little bit more. But I do get why, like when my skin was looking a bit more normal, this is a really easy foundation to pick because it's gonna look pretty good. And I feel like as your skin sort of, as it melts to your skin, it actually like looks very skin-like. So that's the other thing I want to mention from a finish perspective. This is a very, very skin-like finish. Like, it's not matte, it is not dewy, it is like that satin skin-like finish. So if you like that finish, like this is definitely that. Again, I would say if you're on the extremes, like if you have really oily skin or if you have really dry skin, this is just not going to do it for you. There's just going to be better products out there for you, especially at the price, like especially in Canada at this price. So like if you have really oily skin, I feel like this is just going to like, it's going to go away. The other foundation that I tried, I think it's the Infallible one, like the regular Infallible. If you have oily skin, that one you'll definitely like a lot better than this. Again, if you have skin like what mine was like the other day, that was super flaky and dry, like no, not good. So like for me, I don't think I would buy this again. The only thing I can see myself buying this again in the future for is like mixing it with another foundation, because again, there's so many different shades of this. But for me, it's just not the right foundation for me. But I do see why it's a classic and why it's been around for so long. It's just not, and I'm surprised. So like this is, I thought, so I still have one more L'Oreal foundation to test, but I thought I would like this one a lot better than the Infallible one. I think I like the Infallible one better. Oh, coverage. I don't think I talked about coverage. So this is definitely medium to light, or light to medium. Why did I say that backwards? I guess it's not backwards. Doesn't really matter. Medium to light, light to medium. And you can't really build it up more than that. Like I feel like if you try to build it up more than that, it just starts looking weird. Maybe in small spot areas you can build it up, but I feel like it just starts looking weird. I tried to build it up. So like those reviews, I did try to build it up a little bit more than I normally would. So for this kind of a foundation, I generally would go fairly sheer with it and fairly light, because that's kind of what I like this type of foundation for anyway. So it does look a little bit better when you go sheer. But again, if your skin is having a problem like that day, like I have, it's kind of why I have a lot of blush on today. My little eczema type patch thing has just been problematic. I think because it's heat. I think it reacts with the heat and makes it worse. So I'm going extra blushy today to try and help just blend that all in. Make it look like it's on purpose. So for example, when that's kind of really rashy, going light just, it does nothing for it, right? Like there's kind of no point. It's either just, I'd rather have no foundation or a more medium to full coverage where it's really kind of masking that a little bit more. So yeah, this is kind of a long video for just like, it's okay. For me, it wasn't a great foundation, but I hope I gave you kind of enough different points about the foundation. If you're interested in picking this up, or if it sounds like it's something that would be right for you. Again, really appreciate that they have a ton of shades in this. I didn't look at kind of what the breakdown is, but I think it's a pretty good breakdown. I like how it's like cool, neutral, and warm though. For me, that's a big thing. It's not just about color, it's about undertone as well. Having a good variety on both spectrums is super helpful. So yeah, and the other thing I did note in my notes here is primer does make a difference. I kind of need to have, at least for my skin, a very smoothing, moisturizing type primer. So the primer that worked the best with it for me was the Fab Coconut Smoothing Primer. When I used the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, that just did nothing for me. I mean, it was fine, but it didn't help. And then I did notice when I tried to use that Buxom Luminizer, I didn't realize that like, they didn't work together either. Like, I've used that under foundations before and didn't really notice it like that. But again, because this is maybe like more of a sheer to medium formula, that's why it looked weird. I don't know if I mentioned that in the review, like the actual testing was not the best foundation for me, but it was okay. Definitely not a repurchase. Anyway, I hope you liked this little review. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you did subscribe to my tiny little channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.